John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. I've got a really cool, different kind of broadhead to test out today. It's made by All Blade Archery, and thanks to a buddy of mine, Michael Harrell, I'm able to put these to the test. He sent me a pack of them and asked if I would test them, and it's a very thing I was eager to do, so thanks, Michael. But this is like a kind of head that I've used for small game before in a little different format, but this one is designed for big game. And so in just a minute here, I'm going to zoom in and introduce it to you and show you how it works and go through some of the design features and specifications. And then we're going to put it to the test using all the testing regimen that I'm doing for 2022. And I'm using my Bowtech SR6 set at 72 pounds and Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shots. But then for the really hard impact shots, I'm using the Bishop FAD eliminators. And I've been experimenting here with these Zinger fletchings as well. Sometimes I use like the melt-on vanes because they're just so fast when I do these tests. But in the hard impact, like in concrete, after a few shots, those just rip off because there's just so much pressure in that impact. But these I can just keep sliding back on if they come off. So I really like these. So I'm experimenting with this 4-blade one. So let's zoom on in here and check out this Boss 6 broadhead by All Blade Archery. So here's the Boss 6-blade model. Okay, this is really an interesting head. It's kind of like a small game head. I don't know if you've ever used those small game heads where you just slide it over the end of your shaft and you put in any kind of a broadhead or tip into the front. So I have it here with a field point, and this is a field point made by VIP Archery that really is like a small game field point because it cuts. It doesn't just force a hole. It's got 4 edges to it. I thought that'd be a good one to use it with, but you can use anything with it. You could use like an extract, this 1-inch cut right there, and do that, man. You could put in anything. You could use an annihilator. Who knows what would happen if you did that? Okay, but you can put anything in there, and it's just going to add 3 inches of cut to whatever you put on top of it. So with the field point here, it's going to make it 3 inches because that doesn't have any cut. But with another broadhead, it could increase the cut even more. So it's got 6 blades, and the cutting diameter is 1 inch each time. So it's 3 inches of cut like this. Now this one is specifically marketed for crossbows or for bows that are going to generate 350 feet per second, okay? Because that's a lot of things, a lot of stuff that's being pushed through that animal. They also make a 4-blade with 2 inches of total cut, and they make a 4-blade with 1.5 inches of total cut based on the poundage of your setup. So it's really kind of interesting. And they come in a 6-pack, and they're not expensive. So they're not designed for super durability and reuse. They're designed for devastation, all right? You notice it has a pretty small surface area, so I'd imagine it's going to fly pretty well. The blades are each 0.010 inches thick. So again, they're probably going to be one-and-done broadheads based on what you hit, you know, how hard you hit something. But that's okay because they're priced accordingly. I think it's going to be a bear to pull out of a target. Okay, I'm not sure how it's going to do. I think that might be the one and done every time it goes into a target. And you notice it has these serrations pointing forward like that, which, man, it just hurts putting my finger on it. They're really sharp like that. But this broadhead is going to be kind of difficult to test in my typical broadhead test protocol that I use because, you know, how am I going to measure that sharpness, you know, of a saw blade? I'll do my best. Or even, you know, the penetration, like, again, pulling it out of a target. You know, there's some tests that I'm probably not going to be able to do very effectively, but I'll do my best and really showcase this head because I think it has some merit and it's worth a look. So it's called Boss because it's blade over shaft stainless. That's where it comes from. And again, this is the 6-blade model. There's a Boss 6, Boss 4, and so forth. So let's see how this Boss 6 performs. Before I do my normal tests, let's start with some fun tests to show the kind of devastation that this broadhead can cause.
Okay, this made a really nice hole through this apple. I mean, it literally cored it. You can see a hole the entire way through the apple. I don't know if I've ever seen that with a broadhead test before. This one should be a little more spectacular. Okay, that was really cool. Look at the size of this hole. It looks like it got shot with a shotgun. And then you can see the back of it. You can see the 6 blades as they opened up the back of that can. Pretty cool.
$10.75.
Okay, that's definitely the dullest broadhead that I've ever tested, but it's not really a fair test for this style of cut because it cuts with those little points on the tips of the serrations, and those are really sharp, but I can't really quantify that sharpness. It penetrated 7 1/4 inches.
$15.25.
It penetrated through 36 layers. The broadhead actually did fine through the first shot into the MDF, but pulling it out of the target is really a problem. One, it's super hard to get out, but then two, when you pull it out, it bends the blades backwards. And because my durability tests through the MDF are cumulative, I can't keep testing this. So it just gets scored for doing well through one shot of the MDF. And I'm going to go ahead and shoot it through the steel plate just to see what happens when it hits the steel plate.
So here's the head after impacting the steel plate one time, and it made a hole through it, but the blades all sheared off except for this one. This went through and just kind of made a mangled mess, and then here's the other ones. Now, I didn't expect it to be able to hold up to the steel plate, but I thought, to be fair, I should put it through the steel plate just to show it. So what'd you think of the Boss 6? I tell you what, like I had shared earlier, it's really difficult for me to test this head because it doesn't fit with my normal testing process. It doesn't do it justice. But that doesn't mean it's not worth consideration. The fact that you can use a field point or a bigger broadhead, a 2-blade, a 4-blade, anything like that, that just makes it really intriguing, you know, that kind of modularity. And then that you can use the 6-blade model or the 4-blade model or the shorter, narrower 4-blade model. And man, that they're only like a little over $3 a piece. Okay, they're really onto something here. So you check out the score sheet, check them out on their website, All Blade Archery, and see what you think. But I think in the right situation, this head could really be worth a look.